So yeah, how? There's no intro. Wait. Ooh,
Wait,
I did
so
not get it here. Let me play it manually. Welcome to the live. Yeah,
hello,
technology
hello.
sometimes. I thought I had set this up, but no, man. We do things manually if the automation is not on our side. But yeah, man, welcome to another live with Thandeka. My name is Thandeka. Yes, I'm your host on Canvas of a Runner, where we run all things live, from running the trails, running the road, running the gym, the home, your love life, your career, your whatever, all things live. So tonight we're having another relaxed conversation with our wonderful guest, Nicolas. I
Yes.
almost said Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I've
man,
heard that once or twice.
we've met on the streets a while
Yeah,
back on Run the Farm. And then also we were supposed to meet in 2024 last year on waterfall athletics in Midrand
yeah.
waterfall race. But I saw your stats and I was like, you, I wasn't gonna keep up with that on the half marathon last year. So,
And I
but
went
yeah,
straight to bed. Yeah,
that is so
finished the
funny.
race, got in the car, went straight to bed. That was
Yeah.
the goal.
So
Yeah.
it's good to have you here tonight, and thank you for allowing me to hold you in and on a Sunday evening where you're supposed to be relaxing. But I
Oh
hope
my
this,
goodness. Yeah,
yeah.
no. This is wow. I was more surprised than anything when you asked me if I'd like to come onto your podcast. So thank you.
Oh,
I don't feel like I'm sacrificing time. I'm grateful to be here. Thanks.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nicholas, a warm up to our conversation. Can you tell
Yes.
us a little bit about yourself? When did you fall in love with running and how it started the whole shebang?
Okay. Yeah. So, my name's Nicholas. If you don't know who I am, I'm just some dude from Joburg trying to be a little better every day. And I think that's kind of what started my whole fitness journey was back in Jan of 2024. I remember coming back from holiday and meeting with some family from overseas who was really into the ultra marathon scene, and they kind of introduced me to trail running and how insane it can actually be running up to 24 hours. I was completely blown away that that could be something even achievable by a human. So I started running January 1st with the sole goal of seeing how far I could push my physical fitness, because yeah, at the time I was cycling on occasion and going to gym maybe once or twice a week, but after finding out about what's possible within like human ability, I decided no, I really want to be a part of that journey. So 2024 Jan, I started running. I wouldn't say it was a smooth journey. I think most people know when you start running, you question everything. You're kind of waiting to realize, like, is this runner's high real, or am I just going to feel like my heart's going to fall out my throat every day? But I stuck with it for a while. I'd say by Feb, I was completely hooked. I couldn't not run. So I decided to start setting some goals for myself because I'm quite a competitive human and I like to challenge myself. So I sat there and I asked, like, what can I do that's going to really push me this year? So it was the Cape Town Marathon. I decided was going to be the main goal. No, actually, like, just for transfer, it was the Soweto Marathon. I really wanted to run at Soweto,
Oh,
and I was super excited. I entered the race, but during that journey, I ended up winning a ticket to the Cape Town Marathon, which completely changed the plans and trajectory. I'd say for the best. But now that I've run marathons, I can tell you Cape Town's a lot easier than Soweto Marathon. You kind of can do Cape Town as a warm up for Soweto, which is what I did, because I am not someone to just give up my ticket. So I ended up running Cape Town Marathon in October, I think it was like 20 something. And then not even 2 weeks later, I was running Soweto Marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's been a crazy journey. But yeah, running's definitely a big part of my life, and it's gotten me a lot of the places I am right now has been due to running. So I'm grateful for that.
That's nice, man. So before 1 January, you had never really ran, or it would be part of your warm up when you're exercising. You've never really ran.
Uh, you see, I have definitely run in terms of like when I was in primary school, I did cross country. So
Oh, yeah.
I was running back then, and then like there's runners within my family that had done the Comrades, but it was never anything that interested me. I had always been more inclined to do any other sport because running, like as we know, is a labor of love. You go out there and your sacrifice is what makes it exciting. And as a kid, I couldn't really grasp that. So for the longest time, I thought I was going to be a soccer player. I had this little drawing I did of me in my Liverpool kit stuck up on the fridge, and every day I'd walk past it and I'd slap it. Yes, I'm going to play for Liverpool, but that alas didn't end up happening. Yeah, I found rowing. I don't know. It's not a really well known sport, I guess, in the fitness community. It's quite isolated because it's its own thing. And yeah, I
Mhm.
did rowing for my entire high school career. That really introduced me to that concept of sacrifice within sport. And within the rowing journey, you'd have to run in the off season because you can't go get on the water to row. So I always had running within my life to some degree, but never like it was before 2024. I feel at that point it was a turning point within me and my brain where I decided if I'm going to commit, I'm going to commit to running because this looks like a place I really want to grow in, which was never a feeling I had before. So that's awesome. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So how was your training prior to what the Cape Town Marathon plus the Soweto? How were the weeks leading to those two races?
Yeah.
And
So,
maybe a few weeks after, how did you feel? Because
yeah.
that's
So,
hectic.
no, I ended up. So I started running with the Nedbank running crew out in Modderfontein. So it's the Nedbank club. They met on every Tuesday, and through the club, I actually met a coach called Coach Marco. He's really well known within the Nedbank community. I'd recommend him in a heartbeat. But I remember when I took him on as a coach, he asked me to fill out a document explaining what my plans are for the year. So I said, yeah, so I'm going to do Cape Town Marathon and then Soweto Marathon. And he was like, no, you're not doing that. And I'm like, no, come on, man. It's gonna be okay. I'll deal with it. I'm young, I'm fun, I'm a little bit dumb. So yeah, he understood the situation, but made me promise him that I was only going to do a full like PB attempt on one of the marathons, not both.
Okay.
What ended up happening was I did Cape Town. It was a phenomenal run for me. I never had any expectation to do what I did, but I got a sub 3:30. So that really put a lot of smoke up my ass. It made me feel really good. I was on top of the world. So going into Soweto Marathon, I thought, you know what, let me give it another crack. I know my coach said, take it slow. You need your body to recover. But
Mm.
yeah, we arrived to the Soweto Marathon late, and I was still kissing my girlfriend goodbye when I started hearing all the uh, athletes start going through the start line. So I, like from the car, had to sprint into the start of Soweto, and then carried on through to also doing quite a crazy run. I wasn't ready for the mountains in Soweto are hidden, but they're there and they come hard. Yeah, so yeah.
How are they compared to the Midrand ones, the waterfall city race? I know it's half marathon, but it being hilly, how would you compare both of them or rate?
You see, the Waterfall City Marathon, half
Half,
marathon,
yeah, yes.
was like one of the most iconic races I've done in terms of like my enjoyment within a race. I think there
Mm,
was there was a perfect amount of competition to casual runner combination that made it feel that I always had somebody to chase and I always felt like somebody was pushing me along.
okay,
And within that sort of setup, I really felt as if the half marathon just dragged me to the finish line. Where Soweto, it was really much me versus the race. It was there wasn't many people around me, and even though you start in like the crowd as big as the country, but yeah, it eventually starts dispersing, and I think everybody goes into their little pain cave and forgets to say,
yes.
"You got this." So Soweto was more difficult and more challenging just from that point of view. In terms of the hills and actual physicality, I'd say firstly my fitness at Waterfall was less, but yeah, I'd say like the half marathon definitely has a few sneaky hills that can really knock you down to size. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear. I'm asking this because I also want to do my. I wanted in the
Wanted.
past, yes, to do my first 42 this year, and it
Okay.
being for Soweto. So, but by asking a lot of people, they say don't let that be your first full
No.
marathon. Go for other routes.
Oh,
Just
oh,
don't go for
definitely.
Soweto. So you do agree?
Oh, of course, wholeheartedly. I feel like
First.
before you burn yourself that bad, maybe just go feel what the warm water feels like. Go down,
Okay.
find something a bit
Okay.
easier. Yeah.
No, it's cool. I take that. I'll take that. um, so what's the story behind a Can Run Club Johannesburg? How did it start and what makes it different from other running groups?
Okay, yeah. I love that question because that's exactly what started the club. I remember when I really got into the running club scene when it boomed, mid 2024, and everyone and their grandmother would go to all the running clubs. I really saw a huge influx of people looking to do self help, whether that be improving their mental health or physical appearance or even physical ability. Everyone was on a journey of self improvement, which I very much attached myself to, very much found a home within that community. But I felt it was lacking. Um, I realized if we able to collect masses of that size, if we're able to on any given Wednesday get 300 people at a bench warmers run, or I don't know, 200 people at the Nedbank run, you could use that platform, that community for good. And that's kind of where I started thinking about where or how can we create an entry point for these people that doesn't feel like now we trying to take from them, but
Okay.
instead just kind of like introduce them to connecting back into the greater community in which they're in. So yeah, the idea was simple. I thought everybody's got cans of food in their cupboard. Some people will have that one can of sweet corn for over a year, believing one day they're going to use it. But in
Yes.
actuality, there's a homeless person just around the corner that would really benefit from that. So I thought, why not just start a club? And when the people come, ask them maybe, if possible, you could bring your cans of food that are sitting in your cupboard. And me working in marketing and being a little brand boy, I love a cool double entendre. So obviously it's the Can Run Club, so it's like collecting cans for the homeless. But I also wanted to introduce running to a greater community of people. So it's anyone can run. And that's kind of the initiative I wanted to drive from the other point of view, that self-improvement point of view.
Yes.
So yeah, I kind of came up with this concept that I really fell in love with. I put a lot of effort in, and we were able to do some good. We collected, okay, it wasn't a huge number of cans, but it was enough to get a community of people around the SK River in Sandton to come through and help clean up the river. And then in return, we gave all of those people within the community cans of food that they could take back home. And it was a beautiful full circle moment for me to watch that happen. But if I have to be completely transparent, the 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 part where I had to run the club and actually be this very outgoing, extroverted individual that had their whole life together and like looks really beautiful on Instagram, really good in the home life, personal life is all aligned. I'm not that person, and it got a lot for me. And what ended up happening, I took a big break from social media last year. Only really came back this year. Because of that, I felt like I was failing people for not being able to live up to the baseline I set with that first initiative within the Can Run Club. I felt as if the efforts I was putting into growing that community would be wasted if I didn't utilize it correctly. And the stress pushed me away for over a year until around this time where I came up with this crazy idea, uh, partly due to my irrational desire to push my body as far as possible. And for the same reason I started the Can Run Club was I want to give back to the community and do that through something which I love, which is running. So the Can Run Club has come back in sort of a legacy format through this event I'm putting on called the 100 Smiles Run, where I'll be attempting to run 100 miles all by myself, right here in the heart of Linden and Delta Park. So that's exciting. Yeah, that's kind of where we are now with the Can Run Club. I've realized I'm potentially not well suited to run a club per se, but I can definitely push an initiative. I can definitely get people to look at me. Running 100 miles by yourself is something that will hopefully get a couple of people looking. And if I can get them to look, I can hopefully get them to donate. And the idea is through this event, I want to raise money for children in need, hopefully putting 100 smiles on the faces of children in December. So yeah, that's the Can Run Club, start to finish at the moment.
That's that's great, man. That's great of you. And all the best. Will be rooting for you. So with the running on your own, do you invite people to run with you, or you just gonna do it? Whoever joins will join, or how will that pan out? Or you wish it to pan out, especially
Yeah,
the 100 mile one.
yeah. So actually, next weekend, I'm running for 24 hours straight as kind of a practice run for the 100 miles in December. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that run, I haven't necessarily publicized as a huge community event. That's
Okay.
going to be more of a focus on seeing my own mental ability, seeing how far I can push myself within certain levels of isolation. So I might have a friend or two come through and run with me, but for majority of it, I can picture myself running alone. But when it comes to the 100 Smiles run in December, I definitely want to get as many people involved as possible. I'm busy trying to get my company connected with this sort of initiative because we've worked with the charity I'm trying to work with called Save the Children. And through that, I can hopefully get a lot of people involved. I'm also busy reaching out to running clubs, hopefully trying to get their communities interested and involved. So, yeah, no, I
Oh,
definitely want to run with people in December. 100 miles is far. And as
yeah.
the saying goes, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. So, yeah,
Yes,
I'm
yes,
hoping
that's
people will come through.
okay. Well, they will. If I was fit enough, I would have joined you.
Ah,
But
you can come through, run 6Ks. You don't need to run 100
oh,
miles. Yeah, I
oh,
do it
okay.
in laps. I do it in laps. So it's
Oh, okay.
possible.
Not that it's one long route.
No
That
ways, no ways. That,
okay. Okay,
yeah.
I understand. And I was also going to ask, they can run a club when you are collecting cans for donation, when it's donation day, or do you have one area that you do that, or are you planning on going each city or each province or each area around Johannesburg or outside Gauteng?
Yeah, so the can collection would happen on the day of the run. So I would set up a run date. It was previously every Friday. And
Okay.
then I would ask all the runners that come through if they could bring any cans, then they could donate it there. The can donation has now kind of transferred over to financial collection just because the logistics behind getting people to donate cans and having to set up can collection zones is a bit more tricky than just setting up a universal link you can donate money to, and then that will go straight through to Save the Children, who uses the money for a variety of things. So they could be buying cans of food for the kids, or they could be getting the kids clothes or toys for Christmas time. We don't necessarily know the exact place it goes, but we do know it goes towards a good cause, it goes towards helping the children. So
All right. Man, that's great of you. Such inspiration. So we
oh,
can quickly go to the comments. I don't know if you can read them from your side, but they've been pouring in, and we
oh.
can check if there are questions as well. Because every now and then we read questions from our guests. And welcome, guys. If I haven't greeted you, welcome again. Thank you for being with us tonight. So we have Manes. He
Yeah, I
had
didn't.
great.
There's real people here. Uh,
Yes,
I just, like when you see and it's real, it obviously puts everything into perspective.
yes.
Wow.
Some
Hey,
are
everyone.
returners. I knew, and then we have Leah. I don't know if you know her. This is the first time
Yeah,
I see her on online. Maybe she came with you.
yeah, maybe she's sitting in the same room as me and being a super
Oh,
supportive girlfriend. So,
that's nice, man. And then
yeah,
Terence.
yeah,
Well done,
yeah.
Nicholas.
Haters.
Uh, Priscilla Mebs, I know her. With Manez, yes, I know them. They are my crew. And then Manez is saying, running is good. I love running, but not as a business. And then I don't have experience, but I want to try. And then I had this one, I had started this one. So he's saying he's from Limpopo, and I would be glad to see you in one of the two country marathons in Limpopo. So please, Manes, tell us more about those runs. Yes, give us more details. So have you run, Nicholas, any races in Limpopo or trail runs? Because I know you also do go in the wild. Have
Yeah.
you on that side?
So I do very little races. If you can like tell by the 100 miles run, I am very much more a part of setting up a little challenge for myself and then trying to pursue that. Like earlier this year, I ended up down in KZN running 70 kilometers by myself. Earlier the year, I ended up just in Modderfontein doing a little 50K where I I am, as the same reason I struggle with Can Run Club. I'm quite an introverted human, especially when I'm running. So I find most of my peace and joy in just running by myself. Yeah, so the ideas of races, they do scare me because it's obviously a financial commitment and a date commitment. Like I sometimes don't know where I'm going to be or how I'm going to be feeling on that day. So yeah, I haven't done any research into marathons in a while. But
Okay.
Limpopo is a lovely place. I work with a lot of
Yes.
people from Limpopo, and they
Uh,
all love to tell me how I can't pronounce their names correctly. So I'd love to go and visit. Maybe I can learn the secret powers behind pronouncing names like Imvelani. I hope if she ever hears this, she'll shout at me immediately. She'll say, Nicholas, you don't say it like that. But yeah.
okay. Okay, cool. So, more on running for a cause. You've openly run for charities like Save the Children, like you've mentioned. So, why is giving back through running so important to you?
Yeah, I've always believed that a person needs to have a purpose in life that's greater than them. And I find that doing it through running is kind of the easiest way I can do that. I'm always out on the road. I'm always out running, so might as well find a way to attach that to a good cause. And Save the Children, as I've said before, is just such an amazing charity. They give more than they get, is how I feel. They're always out there trying to do what they can. So if I can be a small part of that, then that makes me happy.
Okay. And then, how do you encourage new runners to see beyond physical and tap into the community impact side of the sport?
That's the question. um, it, I mean, I think everybody's got an inclination to give back. I don't think it's that hard to convince someone that children in need like could use your help. Just letting people know, just informing them is enough. And then the community's response is normally way bigger than you could have anticipated. I remember that first Can Run Club run we did. It was wow. We had like a turnout of 40 or 50 people, and the can donations. I had brought down a huge cardboard box because that's all I had on me. And trying to carry that box back up to my apartment, it broke. All the cans fell out. It was a mess, but I ended up like shoving them in my hands, carrying them one at a time, however I needed to do it. I got them back. But yeah, I think humanity doesn't need a big reason to give back. I think as soon as anyone hears about a way they can help, they would normally try and help. I don't think anyone's a villain. I think everyone wants to be a hero. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And what does running with purpose mean to you beyond just chasing time or medals?
Oh, I find running as such a spiritual undertaking. I had turned away from my religion many years ago, and it was only once I started running again, especially trail running. I think any road runners out there, I had taken a long time to be converted, but it happened. You need to get out onto the trails and actually connect with nature on a level that is far deeper than you driving through a nature reserve or potentially parking at a viewpoint. Actually moving through nature and experiencing the smells and the sounds and the senses of leaves brushing against you, I feel that sort of energy isn't found anywhere else. And to appreciate that is to find a way to give back to it. And I think that's what makes it so easy for me to run with purpose is you just need to look around and see what there is to appreciate. And I'm sure the runner's high has a huge effect on this. And I could be looking at a brick and believe that it's a work of art. It's something from Picasso. But yeah, no, running is what gives me purpose. It's a beautiful sport that I find a lot of joy in.
Okay. Is it you find more joy more in running versus cycling? Which one?
Oh,
Or you just don't compare the two?
yeah, I mean, no, running is definitely the person I'll go home with at the end of the night. I can
Mm.
go and I'll cycle, and it's a cool sport, but there's that unnatural connection that you have with a bicycle, where you don't necessarily feel that if everything was taken away from you, you could still ride your bicycle, because they'd probably take your bike too. But if they take everything away from the human, that human can still run. And there's something about that that makes me feel like it's a very pure form of fitness, where you're really putting, there's that beautiful saying, it's fish swim, birds fly, but humans run. And I don't know, that, yeah, running is definitely the go-to gal for me. That's who I don't want to be with. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So now I'm on the segment of the social runner's journey.
Okay.
Many runners start out solo but later thrive in groups. What's your take on the role of community and in keeping people consistent?
Yeah, I mean, it's crucial. I'm an introvert at heart, so I like to run by myself. I don't necessarily invite people out on my runs all the time. And going to a run club is something I now do once a week, but sometimes don't even do. But in terms of community, I have runners within my community that I communicate with about what I'm doing and what my goals are. And I have people in the office that I meet up with, and then we'll talk about running, and we'll brag about our shoes we got. And yeah, without that, yeah, again, I'm gonna give you another saying that I really love. It's a man was asked, what was the best part of the journey? Was it the journey, or was it the destination? And the man replies, it was the company, it was the people I was with. So if you going on this journey like I am with running, it's a beautiful journey, but if I can't share it with anyone, if I can't express it, it does feel like it's missing that secret component that makes humans beautiful and interaction amazing. So you need to have a community, even if you're not running with them, as long as you connected with them. I think that's enough.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Um, what has been your most memorable moment on the road with Can Run Club?
Wait, sorry, can you repeat that? I got lost in your comments. I need to actually hide these from me, because they come through and I'm like, what did you say?
Now the question was, what has been your most memorable moment on the road with Can Run Club?
It was definitely that first run. I mean, when you're starting something like a running club, you're putting your neck on the line for social critique and potential levels of judgment or even failure. And for me to start an initiative like a run club, when I'm someone who doesn't even have birthday parties because he doesn't like to be the center of attention, I was
Yeah.
so scared. I remember building into my first run. I couldn't sleep. I was up every night thinking, oh no, what do I need to do? What do I need to get? Is everything okay? Does everyone feel comfortable with the route? And
Yeah.
to then have everybody come through to that first run, and it almost feel as if I wasn't even a part of it. It was this community had built outside of me. I may have been the one to open the door, but everyone else walked through before me. They were there, they were happy, they were involved, and that told me that, yeah, I just need to help where I can. I don't need to be the spotlight. You know what I mean? I can be the reflector that tells you this way. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we're going into digital presence and the GrabIt app.
Yes.
Tell us about GrabIt. How did the idea come for the app? How did it came about?
Outside of my glasses, I am quite a nerd. I'm not such a cool guy. But no, in my free time, I love putting together spreadsheets and putting together forecasts and plans. And I'm a big believer in goal driven habits. I believe that if you want to achieve something, you can't just will your way to that. You need to have something you're working towards. Because if you don't have anywhere to go, you don't know how to get there. So
Yeah.
I've I've used spreadsheets since, let's say, 2024, where I put together habits that I want to maintain, or goals that I'm trying to achieve, or budgets that I'm putting together. So as soon as AI gave someone like me the ability to start creating my own products and putting ideas into reality,
Yes.
it was almost like a no-brainer. I immediately jumped straight onto the first AI app builder I could use, and I started putting it together. I really wanted to take what I had on all these multiple spreadsheets and just make it one. So GrabIt was born through a very selfish reason. It was born for me. And if anyone else uses it, it's cool. I'm really happy for them. You should tell me about it. I love feedback. It's my favorite thing. But yeah, it started for me. I like having a visual way to see my habits form and a way to reflect on my mental health through those processes, because something I see a lot of people do, and I'm a huge victim of this, is taking on too much too soon. So you'll see someone, yeah, take on a diet and then decide, you know what, I'm just going to drink water and eat ice. And then I'll be skinny in a week, or I'm going to run a marathon in 2 months
So wait.
without exactly, I'm going to do it just like that, because that's what the internet's tricked us into believing, is it needs to happen right now. So yeah, I like that idea of just having the plan mapped out for me, giving myself a real time frame to reach goals or break bad habits, because yeah, that's what I do in my personal time. So if I can turn that into a stream of revenue to help fund my ideas, then I'm going to look into that. So yeah, Gravit's just natural.
Okay. Was there a link between your running experiences and the creation of GrabIt?
I'd say so. I'd say what was a big shift for me was my training for Comrades this year. So I had gotten sucked into this belief. It's going to be lovely to say this on the internet because it's so ridiculous. I thought me with my less than a year experience could go and fetch himself a silver medal at Comrades.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's me taking on too much too soon, and what that led to was months and months of me being on the cusp of depression. I had fallen out of love of running because I'm pursuing this one goal, and I was constantly trying to load on more and more, and then you'd get injured and you'd get sick, and you lose your way because you get stuck in this tunnel vision of, I need to get to that silver medal, whatever I need to sacrifice. And when I started running Comrades, and I realized very soon that the silver medal is so far out of my reach that I,
Really?
oh my goodness, it was humbling. It's a beautifully humbling run that teaches you very quickly that your dreams and your reality are not the same thing. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So there I was running Comrades and realized I'm not reaching my goal. And if I had just taken the time to reflect on my goals and reflect on the days building up to this event, I would have been able to tell you months ago, oh, that's a silly goal, Nicholas. No way are you going to run silver. Uh, you're going to burn out way before you even get there. And that sort of thought of being able to reflect on your days in relation to what goals you have, to tell you if you're within balance or if everything's falling apart, that really became the driving force for my training now, where I am trying to live a far more balanced and happy like training plan. And within GrabIt, where I decided I want to help other people find that balance, which I've only just discovered. So it may not even be perfect, who knows.
Okay, so are you going to run next year? The
Oh,
Comrades.
oh, it,
Seem like you like ultra marathon to be exact.
oh, ever since my mom gave me Ultramal, I've never looked back. It's one way. So, yeah, of course, I'm going to run Comrades. You get a back to back medal, and I want one of those. They look really cool. You know,
Okay.
I don't want one, I want two medals. So, I'm going to go. Hopefully, I can go a bit faster than I did this year. Um, but even if I don't, I've learned that the journey is far more exciting than the destination,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hear that once you start looking at it that way, you're never gonna stop until I hear you doing your 10th run.
Oh, I need to get a green number. They look so cool. They look
Listen to
amazing.
you already. No man, all the best, all the best. So, do you think the app as an extension of your digital presence, blending in lifestyle, fitness, and technology?
So what you're asking, like, does it feel like a natural extension of me? Or
Mhm. Yes, yes. And also, I do hear that you said you did it out of your own usage, not really for public. But then you did share it to us. We know about it. So if we use it and we give you feedback, so how is it gonna, or does it seem like it's an extension, yes, of your
oh,
digital presence and
oh, okay.
style and technology, fitness?
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, of course. It's definitely an extension. I've kind of adopted this new belief system around my social presence and my digital touch points, where in the past I started as Nicholas Runs. That was my name, Nicholas
Yes.
Runs. And
eh,
it was quite limiting, if I'm having a bad day at work, or if I'm having situations with some company about my car, then I want to talk about it, and I can't do that if I'm Nicholas Runs. So I decided, scratch that. I'm Nicholas Journal. Like, you're going to see my life in all shapes and forms. So if that's going to be through a running club, it's going to be through a running club. And if it's going to be through a mobile app I'm working on, then hopefully you try it out. But I'm a creative human. I'd like to think. I love to get involved and try new things and explore the world. And at the moment, yes, GrabIt app is the main focus in terms of that digital extension. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I don't see it leaving my life anytime soon. I'm hoping to grow with it. So yeah, no, GrabIt's here to stay.
All right. We have another question here. What's your goal in next year's
Whoa,
time?
too many. There's too many goals. Obviously, going back to Comrades and trying to sing that redemption song would be a beautiful story to tell. But yeah, I haven't given Comrades much thought. I think once you've run it, there's a little bit of trauma attached where you block it out for as long as possible. And yeah, I don't know, like, I take it one step at a time. So my next goal is to run 100 miles in December. After that, I'm going to try and do it a bit quicker. I don't know. Yeah, I'm always just trying to see what my body's capable of in terms of how that's going to be done. You know, that's yet to be seen. maybe 100 miler like Kloof or UTD is in my horizon. Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
All right. Okay, that's interesting. Um, and how do you envision the future of running communities merging with digital innovation?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're starting to see that already. Like that Woolworths meet at Woolworths, or it's something like that, where it looks to be a completely digitized club that creates a community just on a digital platform. Definitely shows that the amalgamation of digital and running is a future that is almost for certain, running clubs being on social media or having their own WhatsApp groups. I think the next natural extension to that then is maybe putting together a mobile app that can collect all the running clubs within a community and display it on a map. And anybody in the world or anybody on the app can then go and look within their area or their community at what the nearest running club is. So
Mm,
that's kind of where I see the digital and running kind of joining. I feel like Strava is creating a good foundation for that, but there's still that disconnect between visually just seeing, oh, I have a running club just up the road. Like, for
mm,
example, where I live here in London, there's a coffee shop called Yield just up the road that does a run, I think every Wednesday. And yeah, I would never have known about that if it wasn't for social media.
mm,
So
yeah.
having a way to find runners, create that community we spoke of earlier. Yeah, that's digital and running. They go together in perfect harmony, I believe.
Okay. And then in closing and advice and notes.
Yes.
So I had prepared to for someone who feels I can't run. What's your simple piece of advice to help them start? To help them start.
Then they must walk. It's
Yeah.
as simple as that. I
Yes.
I believe that failure is in lowercase. It's yes, you might not be able to run right now, but you can walk. And if you can't walk, you can stand up and sit down. And if you can't stand up and sit down, maybe you can do upper body workouts. And if you can't do upper body workouts, you can start with working your mind. There's always a place to start, and there's never a place to not. I think. I believe that we give ourselves too many excuses to not chase the goals that we want to chase because we're scared at the potential of them coming true. So if you're able to go out and even just go for a 2K walk, that's where I'd start. Yeah.
Mm. And then if someone wants to use running to start raising funds for a cause, what's the first step they should take?
Find a charity that knows what they're doing. Um, yeah, that's definitely the most important part in my head. Anybody can run, but not anyone can run a non-profit. So find someone who's good at it. We're all good at our own things. I know I can run far, and I know a charity can help a lot of people. So find a charity that knows what they're doing, that can believe in you. And from there, everything starts to fall in place. They have their own connections that can help you get a strong foot in the community. Everybody wants to help, as I believe. So if you're
Yes.
willing to do something to get people to help, the charities are going to be there to help you. So find a nonprofit that can help. That's where I'd start.
Okay, thank you for that. We have Jaden on the comments saying, Nick, I thought we were doing UTCT Mahila in
This
2026
guy,
together.
he's taking me on an emotional roller coaster, Jaden. the reason I didn't bring it up is because you're very hot and cold with this. I end up asking him, "Hey, do you want to come run 100 miles with me?" He's like, "No, I'm busy." So I will run 100 miles at UTCT if Jaden's in. That would be epic. Yeah, Jaden's an incredible athlete. He recently did that Cedarburg multi-day stage race. Ended up placing. Ooh, now I'm put on the spot. I think he came third or second in his division, which is incredible.
Nice.
So I don't know if I'll keep up with him. I'll chase him. I'll chase you, Jaden, all the way to the finish line.
He'll pace you.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And then another question from Maniz. What's your message to an upcoming runner?
Compete with yourself from yesterday. I think we too quickly hop onto social media or onto Strava, and we see these people who have run these incredible distances and immediately think to ourselves, like, I don't belong here. I'm not good enough. What do I need to do to be more like them? But the real question is, like, what do I need to do to make myself better? Like, where am I now and where do I want to be? It's the same as the goal-driven habits. It's that concept of identifying what you want, not what other people want, and chasing that and comparing that to yourself and not to other people, because that's the only thing we control in this world. We control ourselves and our decisions. So that's what my advice is. Don't let other people decide for you. You decide.
Okay. Thank you for that. And then final one. Our previous guest had left a question for you or for the
Oh,
next person. So it's random. They
okay.
didn't know you were coming in, or um, the question was also random for them. So
Of
they
course.
left you a question. What is one thing that you regret in life that you think hindered you to progress in life? And if there's anything you could do to change that, what is it?
That's a good question. Wow. I'm sure it was a doctor or something you had on before me. um, no, yeah, there's so many things when you think of regrets, but I mean, maybe no, that's not it. It's nothing to do with regrets. I'd say the one thing that hindered me the most was getting in my own way, was thinking I wasn't good enough to start. But you only get good by starting. So
Yes.
if you can start removing those little mental barriers you create for yourself, like, oh, I want to, like, for instance, I want to be a full-time athlete. So in order to reach that goal, I need to somehow find a way to make a living through my running. And right now, I'm so far from that. It's almost laughable. But to understand that it's not about the final destination, it's about your next step. It's about what you're going to do next, and not letting this huge picture stop you from ever chasing it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm going to run tomorrow and I'll run the day after that. And I'm going to enjoy that journey as it goes. And if I do eventually become a full-time athlete, what a lovely outcome. But if I don't, I'm not going to look back at my past and hate all the decisions I made till this point. But if you sit there and you tell yourself, no, I'm never going to get there, you've already closed that door, and you're going to look back on life with so much regret. So I guess, yeah, it ties back into regret. Well done, me. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Okay, thank you for that, Nicholas. Also, please leave a question for our next guest next week.
Mm.
Any question, random, on fitness, on life, anything, anything.
Ooh, that's a tough one. When you get given the option to choose anything, your brain goes to nothing. I'm sure people can relate to that, but I think my question for them would be, if they could see themselves in 5 years' time, where would they be? Is that the place they want to be, or are there things they need to change to get there? Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Jaden is saying, ask them if they had to use the bathroom more than run.
Oh, David, you told me you have no trolls in your comments, but it seems I brought all the trolls.
You brought them. No, man, it's fine. It's fine.
No, I love you, Jaden, dude. Thank you for watching this. Wow, you stuck out for 55 minutes hearing my voice. Well done, guys.
No, man, that's great. Thank you, guys, on the audience. We really appreciate your time and being with us. Yeah, and thank you, Nick. Hopefully to see you on the races to come. And yeah, all the best on your 100-miler. I'll keep an eye on that. And yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
maybe
keep
you'll
in
come
touch.
through. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, yes. Oh, and guys, Nicolas is on social media. On Instagram, I have the text scrolling there. His Nicolas.channel, his personal one, and the Can Run a Club is Can_Run Club. They're
Yes.
both on Insta. Please show some love there. Would appreciate it. Other than that, I'm wishing you a great productive week ahead. And yeah, end the month. Happy new month.
Oh, yeah. And thank you so much for having me. I couldn't have been more grateful to being invited. And I'm going to walk away from this feeling so cool. I get to tell people I was on a real life podcast with Thandeka and Canvas of a Runner. Wow. Thank you. Thanks
Thank you.
everyone for watching also. Yeah.
No, man, it's cool. Good night then. See you
Yes.
soon.
Good
Bye.
night. Bye.
Cause nobody do it like you be taking your time. Just talk to me, baby, tell me all the thoughts on your mind. Ain't shy, saying lies. Keep the lights on in the daylight. Without you by my side, then it ain't right.
Look, can't get right, I'll do it for life. I'ma knock it out.